Well, hello. I'm Scott Stevens, Goldsboro City Manager, here for our June monthly update. It's hard for me to believe summer's coming. June is here. It's a great time of year for me. I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you're getting outside. We're all told we need to be more active, so find the thing you can do, whether it's a park, walking downtown, walking in your neighborhood, or playing golf, whatever it is that you enjoy. I would encourage you to get outside. Again, it's supposed to be good for our health, and certainly enjoying the community we live in, I think is better for all of us. You know, with June comes hurricane season, so as a reminder, we're early in the season, but I would remind all our residents, the guidance is we all need to be prepared to take care of ourselves and our family for a period of 3 days. So if there's a natural disaster, such as a hurricane in our area, you need to have enough water, food, medication, radio, batteries, those kinds of things to look after your family for a period of 3 days. And that way you'll be prepared as we move into this year's 2019 hurricane season. We've also talked about some new positions and employees coming. Fire Chief Joe Dixon has accepted an offer of employment with the City of Goldsboro. He will be here beginning July 2nd. So I hope you'll look for opportunities to meet Chief Dixon. I think he'll be a good addition. He is coming from a Maryland Fire Department and moving down to be with us here in North Carolina. Very excited to be here, at least he expresses that to me. You haven't scared him off yet because he's been in the community and meeting people, and he's had very good feedback on Goldsboro and what's going on here. And I look forward to him joining our management team and being part of our city employment. We're also working on hiring a public information officer. I hope to get that done in June, so later in June we should have that announcement made. And then the last position that I'm personally responsible for filling is our Development Services Director, the one that was vacated by Jimmy Rowe at the end of December 2017. So again, we're working through that and we'll have that for you, I hope, in the August-September time frame. And I think I mentioned hurricane season 2019. We haven't quite gotten there yet. We're still 2018. But again, the message is still the same: to be prepared to take care of your family for a period of 3 days following some type of natural disaster. Just a reminder, school's out. I think that'll be pretty self-evident to all of us pretty soon when the school buses aren't rolling up down the roads as often and the kids are more in the neighborhood during the day and you're wondering why they're not in school. It's because they're out for the summer. So I would just, be cautioned to watch out for children that are in your neighborhoods, and also to the kids that are out there, look for productive things to get involved in and be involved in. A lot of summer camps going on, a lot of activities within Parks and Rec, and we just encourage you to find a place to be. Community appearance, always important to us. We continue to do our part in terms of cutting grass, or cutting grass for people who won't cut their grass, meaning going through our code enforcement side of it, or picking up litter along our streets or on abandoned properties. But I would encourage all of us to be vigilant of that, continue to do it. Goldsboro really is a pretty community, but the litter takes away from that, and we all can make that better, whether it's a cup or a bag or a constant area you pick up around your home or business. I would encourage you to do that. If you need the city's help with code enforcement measures or to pick up litter on an area that it's not your responsibility, don't hesitate to call us and we will work through that. Manager's office number 580-4330. Again, the manager's office, if you have litter problems or any other issue, 580-4330. City Council did approve the city's 2018-2019 fiscal year budget of $61 million. That runs from July 1st of this summer through June 30th of next summer. Of that $61 million, $30 million is our employees, so it's salaries and benefits to fund the people that are here doing the work to serve the community. And so when you break it all down, there is not a lot of discretionary spending, but the council worked through the budget in multiple work sessions, and again, it was adopted at their June 4th meeting. There's a draft version which is very similar to the adopted version on the city's website. We will have the adopted version up very soon, but if you have questions on the city's budget, again, please don't hesitate to call, and we'll happy to share what's in the budget and what that would mean to you as a resident. No fee increases, no tax increases. The only increase that some are seeing is the stormwater fee, which was a rate adopted a year ago, is going into an impervious area billing. So for homeowners or residential properties, at least single family and duplex properties, that's no difference in what you're paying today. For multifamily, such as apartments or businesses, you are paying now based on impervious area. So the rate didn't go up, but the area that you're being required to pay for based on your specific site may have increased your bill for the month. So if you have questions on that, please don't hesitate to call. We are having some issues with our recycling, and we'll have more information coming to you on that. We have been collecting recyclables, carrying them to a facility in Fayetteville. They have been sorting them out, and they have not been charging us for that disposal. So our cost was the collection from your home and the transporting them to Fayetteville. Recently, the recycling market, for a number of reasons, has softened, meaning there's not a demand for that. Recyclables is high, and so the recyclers are now wanting to charge us for what they're calling contaminated recycling. And by and large, that is anything that's not supposed to be in there that doesn't generate some amount of money for them as a recycler. And the market does change. A lot of things we have in our trash for recycling today are things that we have said are not allowable, but we have not been strict on the enforcement because the recycler that we're carrying the materials to has not had a problem with it, again, until recently. And so what we're finding now is the grocery trash bags can't be mixed in with the recycling. Plastic trash bags at all can't be mixed in the recycling. Styrofoam's not allowed. Certain plastics are not allowed. The big change that most of us will be surprised about is glass. There's no longer a demand for glass, at least in our local markets where we're able to feasibly carry the recyclable materials from Goldsboro. And we have been out doing a little bit with customers saying, hey, you can't put these out anymore. And we've been pretty hard and fast to say you can't put them out. We're not servicing the container. We're a little ahead of ourselves in that, so we're going to step back. We are going to continue to service your recycling. We may have to pay to dispose of it in the short term. But we're going to work an ad campaign with flyers and more information coming to you so that you understand why we're having to make this change, what the demands in the market are. If you have questions to call us on what is or is not acceptable, will likely lead to some kind of stickering on your recycling container to help you on a weekly basis know what is permissible and what is not. And again, most of the things we would have already told you were either acceptable or not. The big change is glass, and the other big change is we haven't had to enforce it because the area we're carrying the recyclables to hasn't cared. They haven't charged us to take our recyclables there. Now they are charging. And if we're having to pay $40 to $60 a ton to dispose of recycling, recycling becomes much more expensive than just disposing in the landfill. And so we do want to work through and make it a program that at least carries as much of its cost as it can. I do believe there's still benefit to recycling, and we have some community members that are extremely passionate about it and others that think it's good as well. So it's something you'll hear more from us. If you've been one of those that received a notice in the last week or two that seemed a little heavy-handed and not friendly, and we didn't collect your recycling, please don't hesitate to call our Public Works Department or the manager's office. Again, the manager's office, 580-4330, and we will do our best to make it right by you as our customer. Again, more information on recycling to come, but it is an awareness program for us in July. We'll have to talk about it and make sure that you understand as our customer what's okay to have and what creates challenges for us. So more to come on that. Again, we continue with the water meter changeouts. We are replacing all of our water meters within the city of Goldsboro. We've made a good start. We've been working on it for about 2 months on the residential side, longer on the commercial side. We're replacing about 400 meters a week. And so if we haven't gotten to your house yet, we will get there soon. We expect to be finished by early fall. And these meters, number one, will be new, so they'll be as accurate as they can be because they will be new meters. The other thing is they will collect data such that if you want to know, how did I use this much water during the month? We may not be able to tell you how, but we can look back at your account and tell you what day. And so there are some things in these meters that will have better technology and better help us, maybe help you understand when you had high usage, and that would lead to why the water was used during that time frame. So if you see people working out in front of your house, they ought to be well identified as city contractors. We ought to be knocking on your door and letting you know we're there. But again, it is a good project that's moved forward. It's about a $5.2 million project, so a significant investment for the city into our water infrastructure, but one that we're excited about and is moving forward. Union Station, we talked about the Union Station down by the GWTA bus station and some renovation work. Council, we do have some money from the State Department of Transportation that was a 50-50 match to replace the roof if we replace the roof with a historic type material. So we are roofing Union Station. It was to save the structure. The council has indicated a willingness to preserve the structure until we have a use for it in the future. If you haven't ridden by and looked at the roof tiles, they really do look nice. And again, the bigger thing is that one, it meets the historic preservation requirements. Number two, it keeps the structure safe and secure so that it doesn't get damaged by water, which is very hard on a wooden structure. And then third, it is a 50-50 match where we're putting about $250,000 in it of local funds, and we're matching it with about $250,000 of state funds. The former W.A. Foster Center on Leslie Street, we've talked about that over the last several months. We are finishing up the renovation work there, meaning we have removed all the asbestos, we have fixed the air conditioning and heating systems, we are painting all the walls, and we're replacing almost all the floor coverings except for the gymnasium. So it won't be a new facility, but it certainly had a good refreshment. And again, we look forward to having some nonprofits in there to really carry, we hope, the operating cost and run the facility to the benefit of the community in which it is. And so more to come on that, but we do hope to have that work done inside the building in the next few weeks here in mid-June. And then we'll have our crews doing some additional work on the outside of the building and moving fences and dumpsters and those kinds of things by the end of June. So if you haven't seen the work going on there, I'm sure we'll have an opportunity for you to come by and take a look very soon. The city received a Tiger grant 2 years ago that we talked about that was to do the last 2 blocks of Center Street, revamp Cornerstone Commons, add a canopy to the GWTA bus station, an outside covered area, and also do some wayfinding signage. And we've been working with the federal representatives through the Federal Transit Administration to move this project forward. We are making progress. We have now we have a design firm on board. We are working through a design process, and of particular interest tends to be the Freedom Tree at the intersection of Spruce and Center. And we do have some designs that work around and preserve that tree that we're going to try to share with the community in July. So I don't have those dates yet, but just to forewarn you, there will be some opportunity to come out and give public comment on the renovations to Cornerstone Commons, as well as the renovations to the last 2 blocks of Center Street, including the area around the Freedom Tree. And our recommended alternative will be one that does preserve the Freedom Tree in place, but we want to get the public's comment on those plans as well. So that'll come in the July timeframe, and I just wanted to put you on notice to be on the lookout for that. Police evidence project, we talked about an expansion to the police department here in downtown on Center Street, where we will add an evidence unit which will expand some office space as well as evidence storage within the building. We've been talking about that project for about 1.5 years or 2 years in terms of working through that. It also adds a meeting space for the police fire combined and does some office improvements on both the police and fire side. That project will be out to bid and should be under construction in early fall. Along with that is Fire Station 4, the berthing or the housing side replacement. Fire Station 4 is on Harris Street. We rebuilt the bay apparatus area some years ago in recent history, but the house itself is in pretty bad shape, and this project will replace the house itself for our fighter fires as well. So we're excited to get that project finally moving forward and should have it under construction very soon. A couple of things going on this summer. I hope you've paid attention. We do have our summer youth employment program again. It's our 2nd year where the council had asked that we consider this last year. I think it was a real success last year for the students involved, where they spend 6 weeks with us or another employer in the community, basically working 4 hours a day, and then 4 hours each week. They also have some training for leadership skills or development, or how do you fit into the workplace, or trips to Raleigh to visit the state legislature, or down to the beach to visit the museum and see some things that maybe they haven't all experienced. And we have another group of about 60 kids in the 14 to 18-year-old range. Last summer it was a very high percentage of 14 and 15-year-olds, and a really good experience where they're paid minimum wage to work with us and shadow other folks and try to figure out what's going on in the world, with hopefully providing some guidance to them of some options for them as they go forward in their lives. Our pools have opened, so they're open full-time beginning this weekend, or the June 8th weekend. They'll be open full-time. There'll be at least one of the pools open every day of the week, and both of them open 5+ days a week. Summer camps, as I mentioned before, are ongoing. A lot of them are filling up, but they're camps throughout the summer, from weekly camps to specialty camps. And I would encourage you to visit the Parks and Rec website, or go into Herman Park Center and look for a camp that might work for your child. Age ranges from elementary school age on up until middle school age, so I would encourage you to find a place and an interest for your youth and get them involved. A lot of good camps there. And then an activity for all is Tube the Noose. If you want to go, our Parks and Rec sponsored a canoe trip in early June that had over 100 participants. Their next one is in July, but it is not canoes, it is tubes. And so I would encourage you, for a very low cost, I think it's in the $10 range, you could spend a day on the Noose River with Parks and Rec and have a way on and off the river in a very enjoyable environment. So I would encourage you to find a place to get involved. There's a lot of activity going on. It's a great time of year, and again, as I started, I encourage you to get outside and enjoy this nice weather. With that, if you have questions of us, please don't hesitate to call. Again, I'm Scott Stevens, your city manager. My office number, 919-580-4330. Have a great summer. Call if we can help, and I look forward to talking with you soon. Thanks.